Greetings and welcome to the Wealth for Real YouTube channel. I'm your host, Christopher Anastasio. It is Friday, November 3rd, 2023, and thanks for joining the latest video. This video is going to be about the thing you see on my screen right now, IRS contractor charged with leaking tax returns. I wanted to follow up on this with you guys because I posted a short, I think it was last week. It was a YouTube short, pretty sure last week, where I was talking about, maybe it was the end of the week before that, that I had caught wind of the fact that the individual who had leaked the tax returns of the wealthiest Americans, like the top 100 or 500, whatever the number was, but like the wealthiest tier of Americans, to ProPublica had been caught. And I forget exactly where I saw that when I made that short. It was maybe I saw it in a tweet or a post online or something like that. But I kind of passingly caught wind of it. And then finally today, I kind of dug around on Google a little bit and actually found this article from about a month ago, a little more than a month ago, late September, talking about how an IRS contractor had actually now been charged with leaking those tax returns. So the significance here, guys, say, well, why do I care about this? If you're into the tax stuff, if you're into how do wealthy people avoid taxes, if you're trying to mirror some of the things they do or all of the things they do, or if you're against it, I mean, really, regardless of which side you're on, I think the ProPublica article series, the tax article series, it was absolutely fascinating, guys. I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're into the stuff from either perspective, go back to the beginning, June 2021. So what are we now? Almost 2.5 years since the first article came out, and read all of those articles from there forward. The very first one was absolutely mind-blowing in terms of talking about how wealthy people, kind of a wrap-up kind of article on the major ways that wealthy people avoid taxes, and give you a lot of metrics on different rich people and how little tax they pay compared to their income they reported. I mean, really, really, really fascinating, that very first article. And then successive articles would dive into like different strategies they use, different loopholes, different questionable practices, things like that. But if you start there, or you can find any of those articles and just read them in any order that you want to, I think you'd be rewarded, either fueling the fire in terms of your anger towards it, or in terms of educating you on how they do it and giving you some ideas on how you can do it. But anyway, the point is, guys, that all along ProPublica had maintained that they didn't know who gave them the tax returns. It was a source that they couldn't identify. They just somehow ended up with the stuff. I'm not saying it's not plausible, but it was just interesting that they back then said they didn't know who it was. And now that the person's been called to account, and maybe could shed some light on that fact, they are still maintaining they didn't know who this person was. So a couple of things I just want to highlight for you guys in here, and I will post this on the Facebook page. You can see here on the 29th of September, contractor charged with leaking tax return info from senior government official and wealthy taxpayers. Charles Edward Littlejohn worked for the agency from 2017 to 2021, stole stealing tax returns and other information. Prosecutors said Mr. Littlejohn, in his late 30s, stole tax information dating back more than 15 years, retrieved returns between 2018 and 2020 when he was working for a company contracted by the IRS, and then provided it to the news organizations. Those news organizations were ProPublica and the New York Times, which is publishing this article. I thought that was kind of interesting. So a little bit further down, I just want to point out to you guys here about ProPublica. Spokesman for ProPublica declined to comment on the indictment, but as we've said previously, ProPublica doesn't know the identity of the source who provided this trove of information on the taxes paid by the wealthiest Americans. Danny Werfel, any disclosure is unacceptable. So in 2020, the Times published the articles about Trump showing he paid $750 in federal income taxes in 2016. And then here you go, 2021 report by ProPublica documented how the 25 richest Americans, Bezos, Bloomberg, Elon Musk, paid relatively little in income tax between 14 and 18. Nation's richest executives paid a fraction of their wealth in taxes, $13.6 billion, when their collective net worth increased by $401 billion. And then it goes into the fact that the Biden administration tried to pass a wealth tax, and a lot of people thought ProPublica published this stuff to help them with that. I really doubt that fact. I think ProPublica got the info and published it whenever they could. Leaked ProPublica of information about how little rich taxpayers was met with outrage by Republicans who believed they were intended to buttress the Biden administration. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, want to make you guys aware of that. If you followed those articles before, if you're about to follow them due to my recommendation or some other reason, you may also want to read this article. It just kind of closes the loop a little bit in terms of like, where did this stuff come from? How did ProPublica get its hands on it? Super, super fascinating, guys. But even if you don't read this article, if it makes you go back and read the ProPublica articles, I think you would thank me for that. So hope everybody has a great Friday night and a great weekend. And we'll be back with you guys soon. Until next time, thanks a lot. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching this video.